Welcome to Flash Tutorial 14, For Loop Basics. Going to start by opening a new FLA. I'm selecting ActionScript 3, clicking OK. This is going to be a very short tutorial. On the timeline, I'm going to call this AS as an action script. Select that frame 1, open the Actions panel, and type this code. var, var, it's a variable, turns purple. I, colon, number, capital N-U-M-B-E-R, turns blue, equals 0, semicolon. Making a second variable, var, called count, capital C-O-U-N-T, colon, number, capital N-U-M-B-E-R, turns blue, equals 0, semicolon. And here's the for loop, it's called. FOR, small f turns purple. Open bracket, I equals 0, semicolon. I is less than 11, semicolon. I plus plus, close bracket. Each for loop needs what's called 3 arguments. The first one says I have to have a variable that I'm using. There's the variable I, and here I'm starting with the variable as 0. Here I'm saying I want to check I, it's a test, to see if it's less than 11. And when we start at 0, so it's definitely going to be less than 11. And this is saying each time I go through this for loop, I plus plus means increment I. So the first time we go through, I is equal to 0. This here says it's less than 11, so it allows me to do the loop, and it adds 1 to I, so the next time I go through, I becomes 1. Next time it becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes through it till I go through it 11 times, at which time this test is false, and it doesn't do this, what's inside of here anymore. So after the closed bracket, there's an open curly bracket. As you start to type this in, usually this closed curly bracket comes in. If not, put it in when you finish. And trace, T-R-A-C-E, turns blue. Open bracket, count. That's this variable right here we just made. Close bracket, semicolon. So we're going to trace it each time it goes through the loop. And here, to see that it's working, I'm going to take my count equals count plus 10. Semicolon. So each time I go through this loop, I'm going to trace my variable count, which increments by 10. So it's going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, like that. And it's going to go through it 11 times. So let's test this. Control test movie test. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90, 100. And if you count them, there's 11 of them. Now, let's go back there for a minute. It's tracing 0 because I have the trace before I'm incrementing. If I took this trace line and put it down here, okay, and tested it, control test movie test, you can see it starts at 10 and it's actually going to 110. Okay, and I can prove that by copying this line, paste it here, and now do it. Control test movie test. We're seeing 22 entries. They start at 0. That's because of that first trace, and they're ending at 110 because that's of the second trace. So I want to get rid of this. So now let's do something, add something else to it. Up here where the variables are, let's declare another variable. Type. var, that declares a variable. I'm calling it multiply factor. Capital M, capital F, multiply factor. Colon, number, capital N, equals 5, semicolon. And copy this here, right click, copy this, and paste it in here. So now, whatever number I have in here, that's what I'm going to count by. And You could have this variable be controlled by something else, which I will do in a later tutorial. So test this, and 0, 5, 10 up to 50, count by 5s, and if I put here 10, now we're going to count by 10s. Control, test movie, test. And we're counting by 10s. Now, I'm going to do 3 more videos that are related to this for loop. And I've also in the past done 3 or 4 videos on arrays. So I'm going to combine them, and I'm going to do a video, and when you finish that video, this is what you'll have. I'll show you. Control, test movie, test. I have these numbers. I can select any number I want, and that's going to let me multiply by 11. I can multiply by 12, I can multiply by 2, I'm going to multiply by 5, and then when I press this, it'll see 5, 10, 15, right up to 50. These are your times tables. Now if I want to do times 10, click 10, it's going to do it by 10. I can do it by 12s. Okay. The tutorials I'm using to do this, and you can look for them. One will be Flash CS6 Tutorial 22, Display on Stage Content of Array. There's going to be a tutorial CS6 Tutorial 23, which is Display on Stage Content of Array Part 2. And there's going to be a final one, which will be Flash CS6 Tutorial 24, Multiplication Timetable. And that's the one I just demonstrated. So good luck. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.